I'm currently making a wiring harness for the external BMS that I'm going to be adding to all these batteries. So I ordered some wire from online, and this wire is 10 conductors. So there are 10 small conductors inside of the sheath, and then it has this aluminum foil wrap that I just am cutting off. And now inside here, we have 10 separate conductors. Now these are pure copper that are tinned, multi-strand, and they are 20 gauge. So they're a good high quality wire with a high temperature silicone coating on them. I'm currently going through and stripping all the wires. I've cut them all to length. They're all about 7 feet long. And I've cut a couple of inches off one end and 9 inches off the other end. And that'll become evident shortly here, but I'm stripping them all, and then we'll go through and we'll start adding on the little connectors. We are trying to solder these connections up. These are going to be our external BMS wiring harnesses, and some of these pins are really, really tiny. On Bill's wiring harness, we're doing things a little bit different, and we're splicing together some wires, just like this. So we have some short ones coming off to the main harness, and then some long ones. And that's because we're going to parallel them at the battery before it comes up to the BMS. Just a little different. And he just put the tubing on all the splices. Go ahead. Now we're going to heat shrink it down. Heat shrink on all of these splices, and now I'm pulling off all these little wires to one side, and all the long wires go to the other side. And now I can loop all this together with some loam tape. And one of the viewers of this channel actually suggested that I use this. This is Tessa loam tape. So I've never used this before, but I love trying new things and love when people give me suggestions of what to try. Kind of a felt tape. It's kind of fuzzy. This is instead of using electrical tape, trying to use this stuff. I am almost done with my BMS wiring harness, I don't know, hub. First off, I didn't realize it was going to get this big. This is getting a little ridiculous, just how big it is. But I essentially wanted one screw to go to every cell, and I have 8 modules, you know, so there's a lot of cells going on here. Now all my wiring harnesses are going to be coming in, and some wires will go all the way down to the very bottom one and get screwed in place, and some cells might get screwed to the middle and some to up top. Now I have enough slack in the end here that every block is going to be able to get reached. I'll be able to check with a multimeter and make sure that I've done it correctly and that I haven't shorted anything out or burned any traces. I've got it all correct. And then once I know that they're all correct, then I can take these little things that came with the screw terminals, and these are little bus bars. I'll be able to put the bus bar in on the front side of all of these, which will parallel all of my cells together. So yes, it got overly complicated. I should have just spliced all my wires together, but in my head I'm just so worried that if I short out something and say the trace on the battery shorts and I don't have that connection, how would I know if I just spliced all my wires together? What I've done here, I'm building this all out of some 3/4 inch plywood, and I've got a block of 2x material in there as well. I'm just taking this little instruction manual, and this is my shim, and I'm putting the shim down, and I want to make sure that you guys can see this, but I'm keeping the front edge along to this pencil line I drew, and I'm using this pencil and I'm marking the center of the holes on each side. Take that away. Now I'm drilling some little holes in here. Can you see that, Elena? So these are the screws I'm using, 3/4 inch long, number 6, but they have the pan head, which is what I was going for, because the bottom of these screw terminal blocks is flat. It has a flat plastic. So I didn't want the bugle head of something like a drywall screw splitting the plastic. Now I begin the tedious task of taking one wire from each of these harnesses. So for example, here's the first one. It's just the one closest to me. And I've labeled them, so this is blue and this is red. So I can take the blue wire here and bring it around. I'll probably wind up having to use my little set of pliers to get a hold of all these little guys. They are quite small, but I have a little forked spade terminal there. I'll just slip it in and be able to tighten it down. Just finished attaching all of the wires. As you can see, we have all the colors grouped. So this is going to be for every cell. Now the exception is these two up here in the front. These are actually going to be the power for the fan. So we have positive and negative for the fans, and that's why they're doubled up. But all the rest are single. I have all the Molex connectors here that will go to the batteries, and right here all of the wires are in place. Now each one is currently separate. My intention is to plug them all into the batteries, and then I can individually check every one of these screw terminals and make sure that I haven't crossed any of my wires. These 4 modules actually belong to a friend of mine. I'm just helping him out with some of the wiring. Now what we are going to do is wire 2 of them up like this, so they'll actually be paralleled in the wiring harness and not on a separate hub. And that's because he's not taking my hub, right? He's taking his batteries back to his own house. So these are going to wind up being paralleled like this. But I want to double check that all the cells are within 1/10 of a volt of each other so that we don't get too many amps moving between them and burn out. So what I've done is I've taken these 4 wires and I've put them onto each of the Molex connectors right there. And then I've also paralleled the negatives together. I've put the negative probe of my multimeter in there. And now let's go ahead and check our cells. We just need to make sure that they're within 1/10 of a volt. So let's go ahead and this is the first one here. So 3.32. Try to make it so you can see this move over. 3.32. 3.32. So these are good enough that we can parallel all these together without burning up the trace. Try to do this here. 6, 4, 5. So all the cells are very, very close, and now they're going to become perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and bus all of these cells in this module. But if I go through and I check and I see more than 1/10 of a volt difference between any 2 cells, then I'm going to have to go work on that individual cell, either charging by attaching a DC to DC charger to one of these, bring it up a little bit, or put a resistor on, bring a high one down a little bit, bring it within 1/10 of a volt. As I do this, I'm not just checking that all the cells are within 1/10 of a volt, I'm also checking that I wired them correctly. It would be pretty bad if I wired one cell wrong to the wrong color wire, or got a pin screwed up on these connectors, and that's doable. I certainly could have screwed something like that up, but luckily so far with these ones I haven't had that problem yet. By the way, I have plastic covers on these because these are energized. None of these are plugged into anything yet. Alright then, All four of these modules are parallel together, and every cell is parallel together with all of these bus bars. So that is all gonna equalize perfectly. When it does, I'll be able to attach this wiring harness and not worry about burning anything out. Took a JST connector over here, and on the other end, I put on a Molex connector so I can plug it into these batteries, and an alligator clip to go on this terminal. And I can now see that I'm 36 millivolts difference in the cells. I have attached the wiring hub to the wall. It's right here, and I'm currently working on paralleling the cells up. So these bus bars are the little forked spades and insulated, and I just put them in and parallel them up. So right now I have all my wiring harnesses into these Molex connectors. And so the biggest thing I'm happy about is that as I put these in, nothing burned up. Now these ones actually came out a lot easier. That's where I paralleled them right in the wiring harness. So they're spliced and soldered and then heat shrunk inside this. Currently I still have a bunch of pieces of Romex wire on here. And so every single cell is paralleled at the negatives. So we're only working in 24 volts right now. I have the negative wire going right here from the multimeter. And you can watch the multimeter as I go and I check this one down here. That's the first cell, 3.3. And then the second cell, 2.6. Sorry, I'm trying to get it so that we're in both here. So now I believe I jumped in my wiring harness and I came down here, and I did. So 13. So now what we get to do is take this one here off, and we get to check all of these cells, all 5. So 13.2, 13.2, 13.2, 13.2, and 13.2. So all of these are correct. I didn't cross any of these wires. They're all reading about the same. Now they're not reading exactly the same, and that's why I need to go ahead and put a little bus bar on here. Now that this bus bar is on, we can check for any amps. So we'll zero this out on DC. So there I grabbed one of those wires, and we can see we have 0.089 amps. So they're trying to balance each other out. So this is what? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the 4th cell. So all of the 4th cells are now paralleled. The modules are paralleled because I have these wires on. Now the cells are paralleled. It's not a short circuit because cell 4 is not touching cell 1. These are not paralleled, just all of cell 4s are paralleled. I am all done busing these up. You can see all these cells are bussed together, and then I even have a jumper coming up to the next set. So typically, one half would be, say, 0 through 24 volts, and the second half would be 24 through 48 volts. It would be the second module, because each module is a 24 volt module. And I'm planning on series connecting to every pair. But right now, I have them all set up just as 24 volts, just to equalize all these cells. So I added all these little jumper wires right here and here. And they're jumping from like this group to this group. And typically that would be like module A and module B. I've already gone through and I've checked these wires. This one here was the biggest. When I checked this a couple minutes ago, it was 0.2 amps, and right now it's already a little bit lower. And so what's happening is amps are moving from one to the other, and they're equalizing. So we'll just leave it all like this. Nothing is more than 0.2 amps right now, so I shouldn't be burning out any of these thin little wires or the little pin connectors. I haven't seen anything greater than 0.2 amps in this whole assembly, and I've been checking as I go. So it's actually taken me quite a bit of time. So at this point, I'll just leave everything alone, let it all equalize overnight, and tomorrow I can start working on the bigger wires that will go from these big terminals to a central bus. Alright, thanks a lot for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, check out the Patreon link or the affiliate links, especially if you'd like to buy some of these big modules. You can use my affiliate link and that just helps me out. Thanks.